One of the best ways to set yourself up to spend extended periods of time out in the middle of nowhere in a trailer is to reduce your power consumption, your resource utilization, easy for me to say, inside your trailer. And one of the easiest, like the low-hanging fruit items, is to change out your light bulbs from the regular incandescent bulbs to fluorescents, or to LEDs. I got ahead of myself because that's what we're going to do today, just the fluorescents. We've already done like these bulbs you just screw out and you put in the LED bulb. Super simple. It's how many people does it take to change a light bulb? In this case, just one, because you just unscrew, screw in. But the fluorescents are a little bit more difficult. We've already changed this one, and that's a super bright light. But what we're going to do now is we're going to change the light on top of or right above the sink, and that we're going to show you how we do it, because that's not exactly an intuitive process, but it's not difficult either.
We bought the whole kit for each light off of Amazon, so I'll link to it down below, and it's in our store, which is always in our description of our YouTube videos.
And the tools for this job are actually fairly simple. You need a wire cutter, you need a wire stripper,
which we don't have.
We don't have, so we just use a pair of scissors, and I do it the best I can. And a screwdriver. I'm using my Makita driver, which I absolutely love very much. So be using that, but you could just use a regular screwdriver, depending on how your lights are situated and how long it's going to take you to actually unscrew the screws to disassemble the light.
Yep. We're just following the directions that came with the light, so they're very self-explanatory and quite good actually. So
yeah, taking these out it's dirt simple.
Well,
to take those out.
Yeah, that's just light bulb.
But now this whole apparatus will eventually come off, exposing the lights behind it.
And we just leave the what is that called in the middle? This piece, ballast, I think. We just leave that. We just disconnect the power going to and from it, and leave it in case at some point we want to use it again, I guess. It just makes it easier. Okay, so let's take this thing down.
I like to apply as little pressure as I can. That way I don't strip the screws, which I've done before.
Okay.
There we go. Cool.
Take the ballast off so we can see the lights. We'll put it back on later.
So the way this is working is the black wire comes in through this little hole and comes in here, and then the light delivers the power out through this black wire to this piece here, and this is what actually delivers the power to our old fluorescent lights that we're no longer using. So what we have to do is just disconnect this entirely and cut the black wire so the power comes into our new set of wires, which we are going to install next. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
So now this dead wire, essentially.
So this kit actually came with an alcohol wipe.
Unlike the last one.
Yeah, they're supposed to come with an alcohol wipe. And you want to clean where you're going to be putting the new LED light, because it sticks on. Unfortunately, there's this sticker, but should be okay. We want the wires to go which way? This way, because you want it to be over where the switch is. And we'll put this just like that, I think. Separate out these wires. So now these red wires are new power wires to the LED lights. So what we need to do is connect them using one of these little metal pieces that came in the kit. And then this is going to plug in where that old black wire plugged in, and that way when we flip the switch on, power will go from the black wire to these red wires and turn on the LEDs. Meanwhile, these black wires will feed through this hole here and connect them to ground.
This is my wire stripper, but it's all good.
You just have to be very careful.
Yes.
So now we have the 2 wires. They've been stripped nicely. They're very thin wires. So what they recommend doing in the instructions is actually wrapping them, twisting them around each other really well, and then folding them in half a couple of times to make them a little bit wider. Okay, so now power is connected. We wrapped that little section with electrical tape too. Forgot to show that part. But now we're gonna take our ground and feed them up through the back. And that'll be everything on the inside, so we can now put the ballast back on and make sure everything is looking okay. The white wire is actually the ground because it's the one that's was not going through the switch for the power. And so we just need to connect our new ground wires to our old ground wire. Okay. See, before we plug it, put it back up. Ready? Woot! We have power. We have light.
We have LED light. Getting a driver, by the way, with an LED light on it, so useful. Would never have been able to find that little screw hole. Voila!
When we first started changing out light bulbs in the Airstream last year this time, we did, like Steve said, all the easy ones to do, and then slowly, as our fluorescence light bulbs have been dying, we've been replacing them with LEDs because we just didn't feel like shelling out all the money to do it right up front. But we have seen a noticeable difference in our energy usage and how bright these LEDs are. And so we're gonna do the rest of the Airstream and we'll be set for boondocking in a couple of months.